So I'm going to go green here. Let's go back to an example we did. We did this multiplication through FOIL. I did 3 plus 7, something like this. We did 3 plus 7i times 2 plus I. So we're going to do that multiplication. Let's do it. We're going to do another one. Why not? Let's do 3 times 5 plus I. And we'll do another one. 2i times 7, or yeah, 7 minus 2i. Let's do each one of this. In our computations, we will deal with I just as we will with any variable except for the fact that I squared equals -1. So let's FOIL this guy out. Right? We have 6, which is the first, 3 times 2. Then we have the outer plus 3i, the inner plus 14i, the last plus 7i squared. Now look at that I squared right there. Bing! I squared we know is equal to -1. So we're going to, oh, and this is, the directions would be find. So for example, find the product. Find. So what do we have? Combining like terms, right? We have 3 i's plus 14 i's. That's 17 i's. Oh, and let me just keep that 6 there, plus 17 i's, right? 17 i's is this 3 i's plus 14 i's is 17 i's. The 6 I just brought down. 7i squared. Remember, I squared is equal to -1, so we have negative or -7. So our final answer would be -1 plus 17i. Remember, we're treating I like a variable, except for the fact that I squared equals -1. You don't see an I squared there, right? So just treat it like a variable. So -1 plus 17i. What about this one? 3 times 5 plus I. Treat it like a variable. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 times I is just 3i. Treat it like a variable. Now this one, 2i times 7 is, whoops, is 14 i's. Minus 2i times 2i, that's 4i squared. But wait, I squared is equal to -1, so this is 14i plus 4. And I'm going to rewrite this for a reason. 4 plus 14i. And I'll explain that reason right now. Complex numbers. Complex number has the form a plus bi. A is the real part, and the b term itself is called the imaginary part. And write that equals b. And this is important. I'm going to write it in red. The imaginary part is not bi. It's just the number b in front of I. So standard, and you're going to have to learn how to love the standard because it's the way we talk about it. So for this one right here, and this is a great way to look at it. I like this a lot. Remember, if you have a person and their imaginary friend, they always go together. Okay, so there's always a real part and an imaginary part. So, for example, real part is right there, -1. And the imaginary part, I should probably do that in underline in blue. The imaginary part for this is positive 17. We can also have numbers like, let's roll it up a little bit. We have numbers like this. What if we did 2i times 7? this is equal to 14i. The real part is equal to 0. Should be doing that in blue, right, to be consistent? The real part is equal to 0. The imaginary part equals 14, right? Not the I, just the 14. So this number right here is pure imaginary because it has no real part. Pure imaginary means real part equals 0. And it also makes sense then that if I had a number like 3i times 5i, this is 15i squared, which we said is equal to negative 15. Whoops. Negative 15. This would have a real part equal to negative 15 and an imaginary part equal to 0. All right. More to come.